Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of Superkickin with Stephen and Greg, your favorite two hosts. Stephen A right here, the Greg one over there, the Wiz over there. Sorry. We are ready to talk up all out, or sorry, all in. Moving ahead of myself, we are going to predict Bash in Berlin, and we're going to predict No Mercy. Unfortunately, I'm in a little bit of a time crunch, so we might go a little bit quicker than usual, but we'll still give you all the latest and greatest. And we can also give a shout out to the Dukes of Football. Big preview edition of the NFL coming up
Yeah.
this week on September 4th, 7 or 8. So tune in at both times and see when they're live. But Greg, how you doing over there? And then we'll get right into some of these results of All In.
Hey, I'm good, man. And shout out to my man Dan for backing my boys go Wolf Pack all day. But it's been a good week. It's been a busy week, but this is where we get the enjoy the upcoming week. We get the pay-per-views coming, or the PLEs. Don't use pay-per-views anymore. That's canceled terminology apparently. But yeah, I'm excited for more goodness to follow up what we saw last week.
Nothing beats a good afternoon pay per view too. Like especially for you, it's comes on what 10 or 11, so you can kind of be done with your day and still have the evening and rest of your day, Greg. So that's kind of nice. These international pay per views, and we were all in London last week at Wembley Stadium. We got a lot of pre show stuff happening. There was a gigantic match that the Faces won, Greg. And then there was Willow Nightingale and Ishii defeating Stokely Hathaway, Chris Statlander, and of course we can't forget Dustin Rhodes, Greg, a current two-time champion right now. I cannot believe we're living in 2024, Greg, and Gold Dust. I mean, you talk about. I think there was a picture of R-Truth wrestling in all the eras. I mean, I'm pretty sure Goldust has wrestled in every era that he could for WWE. So kind of crazy to see. And the Von Erichs, the grands or the sons of the dad. I don't think he wanted his sons wrestling, but I guess they got the itch, Greg, and he's going with it. So everybody got to. I tuned in, I think, about this time because I saw that they laid everybody out with the call. It was a 5-person call or whatever. So
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah. Here, whatever Von Erich is still alive. It's either Kevin or Carrie. Kevin.
Kevin.
Shoeless and sockless. Kevin Von Erich didn't lay out the call, and then Dustin, Salami, and Shibata all laid out, and the Von Erichs all gave a call to the Kingdom and Cage of Agony. So, but Greg, what about Blackpool Combat Club with Pac, who is definitely feeling like a heel, defeats everybody to get the ladder match, or in the ladder match, get the AEW Trios Championship. Now that Moxley's kind of maybe not with him anymore, do we maybe recruit Pac into the Blackpool Combat Club, Clary?
I don't see why not. I mean, Pat fits the mold. He looks the part. And if I was to pull somebody off the roster and put him into BCC, Pat is a good choice. He's probably one of the first people I'd pick. You want somebody that fits their style, their mentality, and Pat is definitely that dude. He does not care. He will rip your guts out and eat them in front of you as you die. So that's the whole death jitsu mind frame of BCC. So I'd love that Pat could be a thing with BCC, since it doesn't look like Death Triangle is going to be a thing anymore. If the Lucha Bros are on the way out the door, is a good pivot for him to join BCC. So I would definitely sign off on that going down.
Especially like I said, I know we won't be able to get into Dynamite, but very curious direction for Moxley. And you know who she is, Greg. You know her. You know her. You don't know her. Marina Sharif. So there you go. I had no effing clue who that was, Greg, at first, until I went to Twitter. It's like, oh yeah, that's Marina Shafir, sorry.
Shafir.
Shafir, sorry. that is you know me and you don't know me, known for that great, entertaining, horrible promo. But anyways, so probably upset with Pack and Blackpool Combat Club. I think I called it for patriarchy. Did you call patriarchy too, Greg, or did you call somebody else? Or House? You went with
I,
House,
I was House of Black. Yeah.
and then we saw a little bit of respect factor. So you wonder if you're maybe pivoting House of Black a little bit into some sort of face role, but very interesting. Pack. I mean, it probably made sense because Pack kept talking about how many months that moment at home, Greg. So I guess we should have probably should have called it for them, but I thought a bit of a surprise there because there was a lot. These first three matches, it was all title changes. Mariah May defeats Tony Storm, uh,
Mhm.
and we definitely saw the glamour show off her wares, Greg, on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So that looks like the direction for her. Yeah, and then Tony Storm, there was a video of her afterwards. She just started walking in the streets of London afterwards. So I think it definitely a good reset for Tony Storm. Really good match. I kind of thought Tony Storm was going to retain. This really went back and forth a lot, Greg. I think to where you weren't sure which direction would go. What was your take on it?
I love it. I'm excited for it, and I want to see what Mariah can do. She is, eye candy is going to be the least I can say about her. But holy cow, the whole presentation and her on stage charisma just bleeds out of the screen. I
Yeah.
mean, you get sucked in just looking at her, and part of it is because she's a smoke show,
Yeah.
but the ways that she speaks and looks and her whole movement, I mean, she should just be an actress because she is that good.
Mhm.
In all of her emotions, she's got it dialed in, and it comes through in the way she speaks, and she has transferred that to using the body language and everything to get everything her point across.
Mhm.
And we are all sucked in. So, for being, I'm sure she's not a rookie, but she
Yeah.
is in her first year in AEW, and we're getting to enjoy this for the first time. And I'm hooked. I want to see what she does moving uh, here on out, and she can do a better job than Tony. Um,
Mhm.
but everything's working. I mean, she's figured it out, and she keeps this glamour angle going on.
Mhm.
She her in ring work is backing her up. I want to see how she pulls it off,
Mhm.
so to speak.
I guess we'll
So
see where the Mina Shakira or Shawir Mina, the Japanese partner of her, in a way. We'll see how she plays a part in there too, because I think you're going to see more of her on TV. We did see her up in the stands, so it'll be very interesting to see what she plays. Hook did get the FTW championship back, and then he was part of that All Star 8-man tag match on Wednesday night, but gets a little help from Taz, Greg. We finally saw Taz do a little bit. Taz, I guess people were, of course, complaining that he did not fully lock into Taz mission. Um, you could tell his movement is very limited, Greg,
yeah,
with Taz. So I wasn't really worried about that. But you know how the internet likes to take every little detail and um, turn it into a mountain, as they say. And yeah, but cool for the dad, Taz, the dad of Hook, to do that. But Jericho goes off and does his thing. So, any thoughts there?
no, good big moment for Hook,
Hmm.
and you know gets redemption. Taz gets to have his few seconds of fame. He's been famous, but
Yeah.
in the spotlight with his son. Um, get the big hug at the end. So, I'm all about it. And there's one problem with AEW right now. After being around for 5 years,
Hmm.
and you see that All In is their version of their WrestleMania.
Yeah.
but they don't truly have a true WrestleMania event, in my opinion, because there's no, uh, live event that's what you look forward to all year.
Yeah.
Like WrestleMania is it. That's the thing. And we know as soon as we watch any show that WrestleMania is the big dog. That's where, you know, everything comes together, and that's going to be the biggest, baddest show of the whole year.
Yeah.
AEW doesn't have that. They have a ton of um, live events, or pay-per-view
Pay-per-views.
qualities events, but there's none that stand above the others in scale and scope. And I guess going to Wembley Stadium, which is so much larger than anything else they'll perform in,
Mhm.
is a good way to do it. But it doesn't stand up alone from the other ones that you see during the year.
Yeah.
So
I felt like Double or Nothing was headed that way. The first couple Double or Nothings felt like that culmination of things, but
yeah,
like you said, I feel like they just try to give us the best shows and then give us a lot of memorable moments and take it for what it is. So I mean, I guess you could argue that that's a good way to go about it too. But I also think like when we look at the Casino Gauntlet match, we had the return of Nigel McGuinness after 12 years, and now it feels like an afterthought. Like,
right.
because I guess also because he doesn't know if that's the only, like, if there's going to be more out of that for him. We had Zack Sabre Jr. in there, we had Ricochet in there. Then you have Christian Cage win it, which, yeah,
Yeah.
not really sure why that happened, but anyways, but the Young Bucks did win. Probably a surprise there too, but we did see Greg, GYV, and their new catchphrase, "Grit your
Your tea.
pause." The pauses are a little bit deep, the pregnant pauses, but yeah. So
Yeah.
they're going by Grizzled Young Veterans. So I guess that name is not NXT official or anything. So they did debut. It looks like we'll probably get them in FTR at All Out, unless you just throw them all, throw the four-way, maybe give the Acclaim another shot and just let them all duke it out at All Out. But yeah, nice to see Grizzled Young Veterans. I they were on TV at some point last year, I thought, or maybe early. I know they were. I felt like they showed up for a Rampage or Collision for some reason, Greg. But it does look like now they're officially all in, as they say, so all elite. But really solid match between the Young Bucks, FTR, and the Acclaimed. Everybody got their moments. But yeah, the big moment was obviously uh, Grizzled Young Veterans showing up. So, any thoughts on that match, real quick?
Yeah, great match. I really enjoyed it. Just one of the best matches of the night. And plus, you get GYV at the end. I've always liked GYV since
Yeah.
NXT UK.
Yep.
And, they kind of spiraled into nothingness when they joined Joe Gacy's faction. But, they've had time to disappear, reset, come back. And, same name, same game. All the catchphrases changed. But I want to see what they can do they get to go harder than they did in NXT. So I'll be watching to see what they do.
And I guess not to go off too off on that tangent, but it is interesting to see how that Joe Gacy group has all kind of made their own name now. You look at Ava running NXT, Joe Gacy now part of White Six. So it is just a distant memory, Craig, for that group. But they could have done more, but that's a whole nother ball of wax. So yeah, like we said, Christian Cage wins this Casino Gauntlet. Some of you were pulling for Ricochet to win, Greg. There was no way Ricochet was winning that. He's going to pick up wins here and there and probably get some TNT title shots soon. But I don't know the direction of doing Bryan Danielson and Christian. That doesn't give me a good main event. Bryan Danielson and Christian Cage at All Out, because that's probably where we're headed.
Yeah, I mean, Christian's going to be Christian, and he and his family are going to try to do all their shenanigans to steal the title, but we all know
You
how
think
this is
that's the
going to end.
Is that the final straw for Luchasaurus to get back to Luchasaurus? Maybe he does cost Christian the match, and then that's the big moment. He finally just does it. Because now that we've been teasing it so much that it feels like it has to happen sooner rather than later.
I know, and they should have done it here. I mean, it was a perfect tease, and everybody was about it. He was getting a huge pop, and then he goes and clubs the other guy and throws him Christian on top of him, and Christian's right there ready for it to be knocked out, and he didn't take it. So you can only tease it so many times before it gets to the point like we don't care anymore.
Yeah, that is what I'm afraid. Yeah, you don't want to run it out. Oh, by the way, who was over was Big Bill. Him and AJ Styles might move to France, and Big Bill might move to London. Because shoot, I don't know why that crap. I don't know if that was a sarcastic trying to get Big Bill over, but man, that was. And I think somebody did use a line how they were saying about AJ Styles on WWE, where they did say Big Bill should move here permanently after he retires. So
absolutely,
apparently London loves Big Bill. But anyways, Will Ospreay defeated MJF thanks to the return of Daniel Garcia. So we're gonna pivot right into MJF and Daniel Garcia, and I'm very interested to see because MJF, losing this big match. Does he lose to Daniel Garcia to kind of put Daniel? I mean, those are two young guys, Greg. So it's an interesting, like, will MJF eventually put him over? Because that's what Daniel Garcia probably needs, right?
Yeah, I mean that has to happen. First of all, spectacular match between MJF and Will Ospreay.
And you called it. You got to give yourselves props because you did say he called the Tiger Driver 91. Is it 91 or 98? Whatever.
91.
91. Because that was the year he was born, I think.
Yeah, they put so much stock into that move, and Will Ospreay not using it, and MJF even saying that's the only move you have that can beat me, and you won't do it. And they put so much stock into him doing that move.
Put in the video package, so that really was driving it home.
Right. So amazing match. Loved the match, and it was a great return because I by this moment forgot about Daniel Garcia. So great time for him to.
I had no clue until he took off the hood, and even then I was like, I had to second guess because he had a freshly shaved head, and it was like, I was like, oh yeah, that's Daniel Garcia. So
so great moment right there, and there's MJF's pivot point. Him and Daniel Garcia are going to have a blood feud now, literally and figuratively, and Will Ospreay can go on and do his own thing. So it's a great way to cap off the short Ospreay and MJF 1-to-1. We can get back to that later as far as a rubber match down the road. But now we get a Daniel Garcia who's going to be hot coming back, and MJF is going to in the end end up putting them over. So that's the way it works. So you can't get more juice than you can by beating MJF. So I love the way they're doing it.
Mercedes Moné wins against Britt Baker. Camille got involved a lot in this match. So nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I called it. I didn't want to be right about it. Having Britt losing her first match back, and but give them credit. It was a good match. It wasn't my favorite match of the night, but I think we're going to still get another rematch for Britt at some point. She's probably going to have to go through Camille to get it, but they're not done yet.
Jack Perry defeats Darby Allin again, and I guess we were correct. Darby was undefeated in casket matches, Greg. Just in case we want to keep that nugget. Tried to set him on fire, Greg, and then your favorite guy showed up. Retirement apparently was not long enough for him. We're not getting Sting in another match, are we, Greg?
No. That to me, you come and
Help out.
make a save and swing the
Yeah,
bat a couple times
yeah.
and go back out into the night. So I think that's all this is.
He did always say he'll keep an eye on him.
Right. So there are no more matches though. We're done with the
I was
matches.
gonna say, is it bad, Greg? I almost thought he was gonna take out Darby just for us to get Darby and Sting.
I kind of had that thought too for a moment. To be honest with you, or that Sting would put Darby would put Sting down. I don't know.
Yeah. I kind of was like, oh God, yeah. So
yeah, but let's just leave Sting out of all the mixes. So we don't want. We're done with matches and storylines for Sting.
yeah, well, that's what I'm like. Of all the people to help, save Jack Perry from getting set on fire, it has to be Sting. And then finally, Brian Danielson looks like might have re-signed that contract, Greg, because he was on TV this week and was already looking to defend the title. But Swerve played up the heel role perfectly. Going to the family, making Birdie cry a little bit. Just pulling out all the stops. Hangman does make an appearance, Greg. That's what's crazy, I guess. Like, we're going to try the heel versus heel dynamic with them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and we'll see where that goes. I said, well, we'll see where that goes because, I feel like the crowd will kind of just go back and forth with it.
Yeah, I mean, think even though they're both heels, they it's still Swerve's house, and everybody still loves Swerve because we love cheering a good heel, but I said it last week. I love what Hangman's doing. I mean, he is morphed into mega heel. I mean, his looks, his action, his moves, everything transfers, and he just is dark and evil. And that promo was fired that they cut on Dynamite. I love new Hangman. Take no prisoners, Hangman. And another thing that I realized is that who my first ever favorite wrestler is?
No,
Mr. From my first match that I ever saw, Mr. Magnum TA.
Oh, okay, yeah, and that's he kind of got that look going on, doesn't he?
Right. I mean, if it came out that Hangman was the son of Magnum, you would be like, "Yep, I see it."
Yeah.
He reminds me so much of Magnum.
Yeah.
That I look at him and sometimes it's like spooky. If the barrel chest, the hair even looks the same. If you give him a little bit more of it and blow it out a little bit, but it looks like to be like Magnum reincarnated a little bit.
Yep.
So I think I still see some Magnum in Hangman, and that's why I can't not love the guy. So, but yeah, this is going to turn out to be and the final. Well, they've had 3. They're 1-1 and probably had no contest. I think
they were. Yeah, that's what's crazy. I guess, and they've already done what, the Texas Death Match, and now they're going to do a steel cage, which doesn't feel like anything, does it? Because you've already done a death. I mean, it does keep because they did bring up Nana not getting involved.
So, and then Brian Cage got involved in the second one.
Yeah, so you can play up that nobody could get involved, but as we know from cage matches, Greg, people do get involved. So,
and it's a trilogy, but it's not a even trilogy because Hangman has
Swerve
one.
Swerve's up in it. So,
yeah.
Okay, let's do some quick Bash in Berlin predicting. Oops, went too far ahead. Sorry. Let's start with the Unholy Union versus Bianca and Jade. I'm going to go Unholy Union, Greg. Which structure are you going?
Me too. Unholy Reunion?
Unholy Union. Yeah.
Union.
Blair, we haven't seen Blair involved yet in helping them. On it, I guess Blair did help them retain. Never mind. But you wonder if Blair could be it. Then maybe Naomi gets involved. Just kind of keep going back and forth with them, but I think it's all Unholy Union.
No,
What about Sorry,
I
go
agree.
ahead.
This is unholy union, but this is following the story, the timeline that I've
Yeah.
been setting.
Yep.
That this is going to be where
We'll
the
start seeing
big,
problems.
yeah, where the fracture happens with Bianca and Jade, and we're going to start their path to WrestleMania
Yeah.
with, the dissolution of this tag team. And those promos they were cutting with last night with Bianca and Jade,
Hmm.
it almost seemed like a start where Bianca's telling her Jade that um, she's still new in this game. She's not ready yet, but you're gonna pick yourself back up. You're gonna dust stuff off and blah blah blah. And it looks kind of a veiled,
Dig.
kind of a veiled start. There's some
Yeah.
messages in there she could pull out to use later.
Yeah.
And so doing it right now, we're at the beginning of September, October, November, December, and you can build this up and get it to WrestleMania season
Hmm.
and really blow this out.
Yeah.
So the timeline is working,
Mhm.
and I'm staying. I said it for months. I'm sticking with it. Night one main event, or at least co-main event, is going to be Bianca versus Jade, and they're following the timeline. It's going down, and it's going to start right here with them losing the rematch,
Hmm.
and then having them two getting heated against each other slowly at first, and
Yeah.
then it's going to blow up probably around Survivor Series.
Hmm. Yep. I'm gonna go for CM Punk in the strap match. I thought they mentioned you have to touch the corners, but I hope to God they do not go that direction. I hate the touching of the corners. It's just such
Yeah,
a dumb, and especially when it's like back in the day. Remember they had to do the consecutive. They'd have to touch them in order, or they had to reset. I'm
yeah.
like, it just it's a pinfall to the fin. They can do whatever they want with the strap and whoever pins. But I guess I do have a little bit of doubt because I feel like CM Punk called the match, Greg. CM Punk has got the upper hand most of the time. So then why would he win the match when he's gotten all the upper hand? So, but then also to give a blow off match at Bad Blood, I think CM Punk needs a win. So, are you going to go CM Punk or Drew McIntyre, Greg?
I think I want CM Punk to win this one. Like I said,
Yeah.
he's lost their first big match, and now this is the way to tie it up, and then have the Bad Blood be the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And you can find another gimmick match to put them in. I like the return to the old school. I mean, I'm a child of the NWA
Yeah.
and the old school strap matches where you had to go smash all the turnbuckles in
Yeah.
order to win the match. Is return to the territory days. So when I heard that, it perked my ears up because
So they
I
did say
remember how
that. I
those.
wasn't, and I couldn't, sometimes you kind of tune in and out, Greg. And I thought I heard that. So they did make that official.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So that
yeah. So
that's what,
at
and that's
least,
what I thought. And I was like, well, that's a different because they haven't done that in a while. So,
yeah. So, and
but
that's
both,
probably a
sorry.
good reason to do it because we haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
It's just beat each other up and somebody gets a pin, but doing the thing where you have to go and drag them to all four
Yeah.
corners.
That does give it some drama.
Right. So I love that. It's old school and
And they're both old school guys. So it doesn't, I
right.
guess it doesn't surprise me. They wanted to throw that wrinkle into it.
Yeah.
So. Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, all the way, Greg. They should just kind of wipe the floor with Dominique and Liv to give Liv and Rhea another shot to maybe do Dominique and Damian one on one. Yeah, it should all be Damian and Rhea.
Hmm. I'm I'm gonna say yes, just because if you don't give them the win, there's no impetus for them to have another match at Bad Blood.
Yeah,
So, um, and with them getting beat down so much, give them their moment, um, on a PLE to
kind of build them up as something too, because that's what you're kind of doing. You keep now that you're going with the
exactly,
Terror Twins as they're kind
yeah,
of, now I guess I do go with your pause though, Greg, because Dominic and Liv with a win over them, then we have to
Yeah,
pivot to figure out how we can do Rhea and Liv and Damien and Dominic. So
right. And they
if
can
they
hold
get
that over
if they
their
get the
heads
win,
like
I
we
might not
had
be.
with Good Best.
Yeah, so I'll go Damien and Rhea, Greg, but I think like you, it might not surprise me if you just go the swerve factor and just say, let's give it the win to Dominic and Liv, and then we'll do some storyline because you still got plenty of time to bad blood, so you can figure out
Exactly.
ways to get them. So
And you find ways to, make
should we change
Liv,
our pick then, Greg?
huh?
Do you think we should change our picks?
You know what? I am. Because it's just too much fun.
Yeah,
You could have Liv and Dom just call the shots. You
yeah,
want to get back at us, you have to do this and do like
yeah.
the Jericho putting
Gauntlet or something.
the gauntlet, yeah,
Yeah,
and doing something like that. And making them jump through all the hoops just to get back at him.
especially
So
since we did kind of just pair them together. Yeah, okay. I'll go Dom and Liv because that just seems to make that. I think that provides for more story than
yeah,
just giving a straight up win. But this is all Gunther. There's no Randy Orton's winning in Germany against Gunther. So any
no.
any disagreement there? Nope. Okay.
No disagreement.
And I mean,
Gunther in
hopefully,
Germany, no
yeah,
freaking
give us
way.
a good finish. The both shoulders on the mat, make
Yeah,
it as obvious as possible, and then I guess I'll see where Gunther's heading to next because I just don't know. So now this one though, Cody and Kevin. I guess it's does Kevin turn tonight or does Kevin turn another day, Greg? That's pretty much the story we're looking for now, isn't it?
or does Cody turn?
Does Cody turn?
I hear a lot about Cody turning heel,
Yeah.
and it looks like it should be pretty much impossible at this point with
Mhm.
him codying as much as he can Cody, shaking all the hands, kissing all the babies, to use the
Maybe it's
whole
time for him to
political
do something.
thing. Um, for him to be the one that turns heel,
Mhm.
he would break the internet,
Yeah.
and that would be the point. And you get most people talking, and I'm sure he has his heel speech uh, written and ready to go whenever it happens. Um, so I'm sticking with Cody's going to win, of course,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think it's Cody that turns heel and not Kevin.
Okay.
We're giving, uh, we're all seeing Kevin as being the one who's going to turn, but
Yeah.
that's too obvious.
Yeah. That's true.
And they've been drawing the picture that he's the one who always turns heel. So it would be more appropriate for it to go the other way around. And, there's your story coming out of it. It wasn't Kevin, it was Cody. And he'll come out and explain why and deliver his heel promo he's been saving. And then we're going to have a different direction to go with Cody being the hated champion. So, I mean, you already got that on SmackDown too. So
Mhm.
you're running the rare, or maybe not so rare moment of having two heel champions, but
Yeah. That's true.
um,
My only
that's the way
pause
I'm
is
looking
it.
at it.
My only pause is if we're running the Rock and Cody at Mania. Do you just shift Cody right back into face role? Because we don't want the Rock being the face, obviously.
No, the final boss character is too good. So
So
um,
if that's the end game, now we don't necessarily know if that's the end game. Maybe we do the Rock and Roman because that probably needs to happen now that Roman is on the face side, right?
yeah,
So then maybe there is another place for Cody to do it. So, um, but I totally buy into what you're saying because you could tell there's a little bit of turn on Cody anyway, and that
think so.
is I mean maybe not I guess online maybe in the crowds it still doesn't feel like people are down on him, Greg, but I do feel like sometimes you read stuff online and you wonder is the online love for him starting to turn, and
Hmm.
who knows? Then sometimes that seeps into the crowds. Um, so
Right, right.
But yeah. So and then
But
we'll do
looking
some.
going
Oh,
back
sorry.
to the AEW days, you could
He
tell
got
when the
turned on there
crowd turned
too.
on him.
Yeah.
It went from loving him one day, and then the next week he was getting booed, and it would become more boos and more boos,
Yeah.
and it became very obvious. But since he's come back, that
It's been
love
nothing
has
but love. Yeah.
stayed
That's true.
constant, and
Yeah.
it just they love the song, they love the uh, you know babyface Cody, and I haven't seen or even felt 1 minute of them starting to turn against him.
That's true. Yeah.
And he's had plenty of time on the mic and in the ring, and to feel those reactions, and um, they've all stayed the same all the way up to this point. So maybe that's the whole point, is that if he does turn, then they're going to turn on him in a dominant Mysterio type of way,
Yeah.
and boo everything he says till you can't hear the live mic. So
It would take a lot of presentation change too, because
yeah,
like you said, people love that song. So yeah. Real quick, let's get some No Mercy stuff because I forgot this was happening. I guess we'll just kind of say who we're going to get, Greg, because I need to run in a couple minutes, kind of get a couple things done before I head off to my little Labor Day weekend fun. So, Wesley or Zach Wentz, who you got?
I'm taking West by
Yeah,
Shenanigan.
yeah, I think it should be Wesley just to kind of get that win over Zach. Chase U versus Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Is this the final break in the chain of Nathan Frazier and Axiom, Greg?
It is. We're gonna keep Chase U with the straps, and Nathan and Axiom are gonna go their separate ways.
Yep. And then we did see a little TNA crossover. Rosemary was on NXT this week. From the Undead or whatever they're called in
Yeah,
TNA.
Undead Realm.
I'm gonna go Wendy, Greg. Let's finally give her something. I'm gonna go Wendy Chu for the win. Which
Oh
way you want
man,
to go, Lonnie or Wendy Chu?
I am a OG fan of Rosemary. Going back to TNA when they were doing the Broken Universe, that
Yeah.
was the same time that Rosemary was doing her thing, and I
Mhm.
love Rosemary, so I'm going with Rosemary in this one.
Oh no,
And look, I love seeing her back too. That popped
it's
me
Kaylani
big time.
Jordan versus Wendy Chu. Sorry, Rosemary came back on TV to face Kalani Jordan. So we got Wendy Chu versus Kalani Jordan. If that
Okay,
makes
I
sense.
can't read straight. I thought
Sorry.
they were going to match between
Yeah,
those
sorry.
two.
No, we
But
got that match on Tuesday. We got Rosemary and Kalani Jordan on Tuesday, which just happened because Wendy Chu was able to pick somebody for a Kalani Jordan.
Okay, gotcha.
So
So,
would
so
you like
they didn't
Kalani?
connect, see, but
Yeah, Kalani Jordan or Wendy Chu?
Kalani.
Yep.
It's
Okay.
definitely not Wendy's huge time, and
Oh, shoot. No, I just lost my presentation. That helps. There we go. Um, and we also a quick shout out. I saw Sue Young, I think is her name. She's Josh Alexander's wife. And she's part of the whole undead realm, right? She had a horrible injury, and there's
oh
a
man,
big GoFundMe for her because it's going to be a long road to recovery. So,
did it
tough
happen in the
times
ring
for her.
or?
It happened at an independent show, I guess. Yeah.
Oh,
So I was kind of seeing people share stuff about her story, and I believe she's married to Josh Alexander in TNA. So
uh,
yeah, but anyways, so best wishes to her, just because of the connection to the undead realm is that what they're called?
yeah.
Yeah. So this is all Oba. We're not getting the title off him yet.
No,
Um, yeah.
Opa.
Roxanne Jada. Any pause there, Greg, or are we going all Roxanne?
Yeah, want Jada to win, but it's not her time yet. She
Yeah.
has plenty of time though. She'll get there.
She's
But
showing up. I mean, she's really showing out though. Like I think the crowd has really got behind her,
Yeah.
and it's just going to be interesting to see who takes it off Roxanne because of the way Roxanne's presenting herself. Right? I mean, that's I just don't know. I don't know if the woman is down there now that's going to take it off her. Do you think that?
No, but I'm curious because you saw in the last show that when they had Roxanne interview or interrupt Jada's
Yeah,
interview,
yeah,
and they had um, their little face off,
yeah.
which Jada slapped her face off almost. Um,
The women don't hold back when it comes to slaps, Greg. I've noticed.
no, holy crap! I felt that through the screen. Like, ow, okay.
Just ask Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, you're not kidding. She's the queen of it. And we look forward to that slap, didn't we?
Yes.
Man. Um, but at the end of that, you saw her look off camera
Mhm.
and see somebody like, what are you doing here?
Oh,
So
okay.
there's
The little thing.
somebody in the
There's somebody showing
wings
up.
that is not part of the roster right now
I
that's
guess.
going to
I
be.
mean, Cora Jade is a name out there. She's not back yet, Greg, but you know, her and Roxanne have history, so they could go
Right.
that route
So,
too. And
um,
then Ethan Page retains, I believe. I think Pete Dunne gets involved with this because of the Trick Williams factor. But really cool for Joe Hendry to get this moment on NXT TV and probably the main event.
yeah, I mean, it's, I'm still not there on Joe Hendry yet. I love the
Yeah.
presentation and him getting the crowd hyped up.
Yeah.
I love that. It looks cool. He's good in the ring so far. I
Mhm.
haven't seen that match that puts him on the map for me yet.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but
maybe this could be,
I hope it is. I hope
yeah.
it is. And Ethan is a great wrestler, and he's technically sound. He knows his stuff, and he's one of those really good heels that you want to see get punched in the face.
Mhm.
Um, but it's not time for him to hand it over yet. So uh, give Joe Hendry a mountain to climb and a reason to get angry, which is what I want to see out of him. Want to see him get
Yeah.
angry and go off on somebody.
Yeah.
So I need to see that out of him before I can buy in totally, because it's too Brady Bunch right now for me
Yeah.
with him. So
And
too happy.
it's still amazing to see the turn of events for Ethan Page. Like to be where he was in AEW, Greg. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
with that whole Scorpio Sky stuff and the um, don't even remind me of the UFC stuff,
Oh,
and then just
yeah.
off TV, pretty much,
Yeah.
or just in weird, like just thrown here and there. And now look, NXT champion, getting a good, a reaction, showing what he can do, and I mean, there's a high ceiling for him, going. So just crazy to think. So maybe there's still hope for Brian Pillman Jr.
Right.
because he was getting a lot of love, and then um, maybe in who knows, maybe stuff is going on behind the scenes for him, but it'd be interesting to kind of see if they can get back in. So,
Yeah,
but really,
it's the time because Trick was white hot, and
he's
Ethan
still
came
hot.
in and still took the strap from him. So
Yeah,
that
I think
confuses
that
me,
says a
but
lot. Go ahead.
that confuses me. But maybe that says more about they
Where
think Trick
Ethan
is
Page
ready.
is.
Then
Yeah,
they needed needed a successor, and they figure he's the one.
yeah. I think Trick gets called up by. I mean, I guess by Rumble is still a long time away, Greg. But like, I think Trick is ready. So.
Yeah, he
Uh,
sure is.
I mean, he got over as champ. I mean, he was he might. Well, I hate saying it. He was probably the Genetti to Carmelo for a little bit, right? I mean, we didn't think that Trick Williams was going to be
Now,
anything that special or like a Diesel character. Like just this big guy that's there. So I think
exactly.
that says a lot for how much he put in, but then I also think it says how much they're believing in Ethan Page to, like you said. I mean, what his second match, he wins the title or third match, whatever it was. So
Yeah.
and gets all the mic time, gets to show up. So, but anyway, so all right, well, we will end the show there. We'll be back with it next week and all the good stuff. Um, So next week we have All Out. So we'll predict
Right.
that again. But we'll get caught up on some of the shows if we need to. All Out in Chicago. I can't remember. I'm thinking it's Sunday because I thought it was the 8th. Yeah, it's the 8th. So it's on Sunday.
Yeah.
Chicago. That crowd is going to be piping hot, Greg. I'm sure we'll hear plenty of CM Punk chants, especially during the Young Bucks match. So yeah, be interested to see how that crowd is. Quick shout out, Young Bucks best entrance gear because I love me some Beatles wear and Orange Cassidy's Mr. Bean entrance, Greg. I had to give a shout out to that. So
That was cool. That was cool.
I did not foresee a Mr. Bean reference, but I guess if all the people to do that, it has to be Orange Cassidy. So,
Yeah.
but the Beatles tribute for the Young Bucks, those things were awesome. So, but anyway, so well, have a good weekend, Greg. Go watch the Dukes of football this week on Wednesday night. I guess you're going to try to be there, Greg, right? Talk up your Chargers.
You know it, buddy.
Now, you know that you have to talk
the
other
season
football
started.
teams, Greg. You can't just talk the Chargers the whole 60 minutes.
Hey, I got stuff to say
I
about
know
everybody.
We know you. We know you do. But anyways, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy Labor Day. Go take some rest. We'll be driving back from Pittsburgh, so maybe get a little bit of rest in the car and then come back at it next week. So
No, enjoy that show, man. I'm jealous. It's going to be awesome.
I'm so excited for Green Day. It's not even funny. Like I just want it to be 5:30 tomorrow. So it is a good night. So all right. Well, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later.